In other news, several Mozambican nationals who are stuck on the South African side of the Lebombo border post are calling for the election violence in that country to stop. Scores of people reportedly being killed following that post-election violence in the country. Mozambique has seen weeks of unrest following the win by the Frelimo party, which has been in power now for almost 50 years. International observer groups reported significant irregularities during the vote count. The Lebombo Port of Entry between South Africa and Mozambique is still closed after the Border Management Authority was informed of protesters who are heading to the facility. Watching developments there for us is SABC News reporter Tumelo Machogo, who joins us now live. It's almost been a full week of this anticipation of the violence spilling over into South Africa. Tumelo, what's the update this Friday morning?
Well, indeed, it has been now almost a week now since this protest in Mozambique has been ongoing, and also the situation here at the border gate has also been, disturbed so many times now. The border has been completely closed since yesterday around 11 o'clock, and still to this morning is still closed. We understand even the communities that we've been driving here, Malelane, Hector-Spruit, and also Komatipoort, they are empty. You'd understand on a Friday morning like this one, you'd have like a lot of Mozambicans coming to South Africa to start doing their shoppings, but that has not happened here because most of these Mozambicans are now blocked, and then they're still inside their country. They cannot come to the country to come and do their shopping as they would normally do, because a Friday it's a busy day for them to come and do some shopping in South Africa, but that has not happened. Also, the trucks that we have seen that were queuing closer to 20 kilometers on the N4 towards Lebombo border gate, those trucks, some of them have started returning to base, and some of them also going into to safer grounds, because you understand that they are out in the open, and also they are worried that people might want to start hijacking them, because we have been talking to them saying that when they are sleeping at night, people come and remove batteries and in some of these trucks. But let's speak to MEC of Community Safety in Mpumalanga just to talk to us about the safety that concerns from the driver's side. And that just talk to us about what's happening now. Have you been able to communicate with your counterparts from Mozambique? What's going on that side of the border before we talk about the trucks?
Thank you very much. What is happening currently, there is a meeting that is going on with all our border management agency from the side of Mozambique, those who are managing the borderline. The difficulty that we are experiencing up to so far is that there is no communication, because on the other side of Mozambique, it means that the network has been shut down. So there is no network. We are struggling to get any information. You might find any information through via social media. Some are reliable information, some are not. So we cannot bank on that one. But definitely the situation here in South Africa at the borderline is under control.
Also yesterday when we were speaking to the Border Management Authority, said they're going to be asking for more police to come and assist here if then the protester might come closer to the border, because we saw the incident on Tuesday when they stormed into the border and then going into the immigration officers in the Mozambican side and started storming those officers. Do you have enough manpower to deal with any eventuality if any of them they might want to start coming closer to our border?
We have activated all our law enforcement agencies. Our multidisciplinary task force are all activated. We are on standby if any eventuality happen. But up to so far, the situation is under control. The police, the SABC, the Border Management Agency, South African Defence Force, even our traffic officers along the N4 road, they are all activated 24 hours.
Also, before we get to the road, the borderline, we know the borderline is quite porous and people come in and come out of the border. Now with the incident that is going on in Mozambique, are we anticipating that there will be a lot of people surging towards South Africa and using this illegal crossing to come to South Africa? But also, where are you guys with the borderline? Do you have enough manpower, especially along the borderline, where the border is quite porous and where the people might want to use the opportunity just to run away from the unrest that is ongoing in Mozambique?
As I've said, that we are ready in terms of the fence that is porous. Indeed, the fence in the Department of Public Works, we have raised the matter with them. They are dealing with it in trying to address the issue of the borderline in terms of the fence. But in terms of our personnel, the South African Defence Force, they are ready. We have enough personnel. There was one incident when someone wanted to try to cross over to South Africa without using the port of entry. We have managed to arrest that particular individual. Remember, the borderline starts from here where we are to Mbozini. I think it's around more than 14 cases from here to Mbozini. So we want to make sure, remember, and also the other side of Skukuza, we have put all our personnel here in terms of the South African Defence Force. They are all in vigilant and standby there.
Okay, let's talk about the trucks. The trucks yesterday and also throughout this week, there were about 20 kilometers lining up into the train. We have seen when we are coming in here, a lot of them have returned and some of them are returning. Also, the concern there is that some of them, when they're sleeping at night, because there's not enough police presence, but also we were driving on the road, we could not even see any police officer on the road or a traffic officer on the road. How safe are they, or with the goods that they have on the road?
They are safe because they just complain. There is no incident that they've reported up to this far. That showed that we have managed the situation. In terms of the visibility, the visibility of police, as of now, is during the day. There are no congestion along the N4. So we ought to minimize our personnel in terms of we must not deploy our personnel where there is no necessity. So we ought to deploy them where we see that there is a need for us to deploy them so that we cover the space sufficiently so.
At night when no one is there, because they are complaining that people would come and steal their batteries when they are sleeping. Are you there? Because they are saying that they are not seeing enough police on the road. They are worried about that and that.
We have deployed, we have enough personnel. As I've indicated, you say someone might come and there is no incident that has been reported. That tells you that the situation we have managed it is under control.
Thank you so much for speaking to us. That is MEC of Community Safety in Mpumalanga, Jackie Masia, just talking to us about their operation here at the border. You understand that the border has been closed, saying that they are having enough members and also enough SNDF members to be on the borderline, especially where the border is quite porous, where people can just come in and come out of the border, come in into South Africa without going through the border gate. But also the Border Management Authority saying that they are monitoring the situation. They are talking to their counterparts on the other side to see how the situation is in Mozambique before they can open this border. Ayanda?
All right, Tumelo, Machogo at a very cloudy Komatipoort in Mpumalanga. It's near the Lebombo border post with Mozambique. For now, Tumelo, thanks very much indeed. We'll certainly keep monitoring the situation throughout the course of this morning.